Hello friends, Cheryl here with Inked Pulp again, and we're back with another Junk Journal January. Today is day 16. We're going to be halfway through after today. So let's see what today's prompt is. I have something really fun planned. Flow. Boy, that could be a lot of things. I thought about getting a picture of a river flowing and doing something with that, but I decided to go the mixed media route. Lee creates, and I will link her channel down in the description box. She's been doing a lot of mixed media, and I commented on her post the other day that she was inspiring me to kind of go back to the mixed media days and do some mixed media. And so I decided that that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to open up this little book. We'll clip it open because we're going to work on this side over here. Let's see what's big there. That's no. We'll leave it like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some modeling paste. This is from Finnabair. I just want to make sure. Oh yeah, it is. This is modeling paste. I've not used it before, and I haven't done this technique in forever. So I don't know how it's going to work, if I remember correctly how to do it. But the first thing I'm going to do is take this modeling paste and put it all over boy, this is really thin modeling paste. I usually like it a little bit thicker, but that's okay. We'll make do. And I didn't put a piece of paper in between, so I hope I'm not getting this on other pages. But my goal here is just to get a lot of texture on this page, and then we're going to do some flow work with it. Well, I haven't worked with modeling paste in forever, and I know you can make your own, and I think if I just put like a little bit of sand in here, or you know, like chalky stuff, powder, talcum powder, cornstarch, anything like that, it probably would make it thicker. But we'll make do with it. It'll be fine. I want to get it over here as much as I can so that our paint flows over there as well. And then I'll have to pop out the heat gun and dry this, and then we'll start playing. Oh yeah, that worked. That worked. Now I know that I need to wipe this off right away so that I don't ruin my stencil. Alright. And then we'll wipe it off on this side. We'll wipe this up. And that should be pretty good. Alright, let me put that aside now. Let me kind of go down the edge here and clean this up a little bit. I got it a little thick over here. I was trying so hard to get it covered, I got it a little thick. And then I got a couple of these pieces that went over onto the lace from the other side, so I'm just going to pick those up. There we go. And then we've got lots of nice texture left. All right, let's dry this up so that we can play with it. I'm going to go ahead and pause so that you don't have to listen to the heat gun, and I don't know how long it'll take me to dry this, so I am going to pause. Be back in a minute. All right, I'm back. So it's several hours later. I let this really dry. And I put my heat gun on it, interestingly enough. I let it stay on there till that texture paste bubbled a little, so it gave it even more texture. It got a little bubbling. Now, what we're going to do for the dripping part of it is, trying to see which color I want to start with. I've got some acrylic paints here. Some of them are very old and kind of dried out, but that's okay. We're gonna, there we go. Find a brush, and then I'm gonna use some glazing liquid with my acrylic paint. Now this goes back to my mixed media days. Remember, I said I've been watching. I'm gonna use this over here as a palette. Ah, it's clogged up. Okay, well, maybe not. Looks like it wants to come out. There we go. I'm going to put a good bit of glazing medium in there, and that's gonna, and it's still pretty, I'll put some water in with it. That glazing medium should be a lot thinner, and it's not, probably because it's very, very old. So I wonder if I put just a little bit of water in with it. But I use glazing medium because it makes the paint kind of opaque, or not opaque, transparent, and it just makes it real watery, like a glaze. There we go, that's better. That's better. Come on, but it's still clogged up in the nozzle. These are really, really, really old. So I'm just going to pour a little bit out here and mix up some paint, and then I'm just going to go over it. Now I am going to do some flow, you know, like the drippage at some point here, not just yet. I want to get a base coat on here. And what I do is paint this, and then I'm going to take a lot of it off and be careful not to get it too much on the other side of the page. So this color is Butter Pecan. And you'll use a lot of paper towels or baby wipes with this technique. So I'm using a baby wipe that I'm going to spray with water because mine have gotten all dried out. And then I'm just going to go along and wipe it back. Okay, so I've still got some color in there, but I wiped it way, way, way back. Okay, now I'm going to dry it real quick, and I'm not going to shut off the video every time I dry because that would take forever. I may shut it off a few times, but for the most part we'll just dry. Alright, now I'm going to take a different color, and I'm not even really going to wash out my brush. So I've got some brown on there. I've got some brown on there. Now I want to put some Italian ooh, that was pretty liquidy. I don't need a whole lot of glazing medium in that because it's pretty liquid. A little bit. And I'm going to put some of this on. This is another kind of light color. We're going to do this layer after layer after layer. This could have been my layers video, but I won't run this thing over each time I dry it. I'll dry it and then come back and show you. And then the paint is catching where there is texture. Okay, I'll pause the video, I'll dry this up, and then I'll be back. That time I did not wipe it up before I dried a little bit, so I dried it a bit. I'm going to wipe this back, and we're just going to keep adding color and wiping it back until we make this really amazing looking background. But, and I'm going to dry it just a little bit more. And then those colors are going to stick each time we put a layer on. So if you can see, there's some of the brown in there. I do have some, just wiping up these colors after we use them. And we may come back and use more of those same colors. Let's put some raw umber on. And I just do layers and layers and layers of color until I get so this is raw umber and a little bit of that green still in there. And I put a little bit of water to make it even looser. Okay, and then we're going to paint that on. Now after this layer, I will probably start, I will start doing my drips, and that's where the prompt for today comes in, because it's flow. And that, there we go, that the inks and paints that I'm going to use are going to flow around those. I don't need quite that much on there, but we're getting a lot of color on the background here. So alright, so let's do that, and then let's just go and take it off. What I'm really doing is taking it off the top texture. I'm going to have to cover this page. It's got, do you see how that's starting to build up? I'm getting my lace all, I may have to take that lace off and put a new piece on. I'll just put another one over the top. There we go. Can y'all see what's happening with this piece now? Look at all that beautiful color that we're getting. I'm going to leave that out because I may want to use that again. Alright, I've got my Vintage Photo Distress ink here. Actually, I have one that's already open. So what I want to do now is take some of this Vintage Photo and I want to run it kind of across the top, and then there we go, spray it so that it flows down. This truly is a mixed media piece here, and it's pooling at the bottom, so I'm gonna sop that up. And then I'm still going to go over the top of it and take off some of that over the, a little too much here. I'm going to let that drip down a little in that one. So again, I'm going to take it off the top and just let it drip down. And then I'm going to dry it again, so I'll be back again. And while that was drying, I took a little bit of time to mix up some speckled egg. This is the Distress Paint, and I'm going to drip this way this time. I'm going to go kind of across the top here with a good bit of paint. And then we'll add a good bit of water to that to make it flow. I might put a little more down in here. It's really, really wet, which is fine. The thing you have to be careful of is that you don't get it too much all over your other pages. And I already got a little bleed through on this one, but that's okay. Remember, this year is about experimenting. That's my whole thing this year. So there's just a little bit of blue in there. I think I might want to put a little more in here. And then again, I always wipe off the top a little bit because I want the top to keep fairly clean, and that's why I usually use a wet baby wipe, because if you go over the top of this texture, it'll really rub that paint back and leave more of the texture showing. Alright, here we go with another dry. I'll leave you guys on here. Now, I'm going to try something that I haven't tried before, but I thought it might be kind of fun. Alright, look at that. Now, isn't that just some cool texture with all those different colors and that texture? And I'm going to go on here and put a little more of this vintage photo, because I really want that to soak into the cracks, and then we'll let it drip this way. There we go. I really, really, really want that to drip. So, and I could be sopping this up with some mop-up paper. I know it's wasting it, but I'm trying to get a video done. Alright. My hands are getting messy. You will get messy with this. Alright, I'm going to pause again real quick because I do need to dry this. Ooh, actually, that's pretty cool. It's giving me some cool stuff around the edges there. Alright, I'm going to pause one more time Well, first I'm going to mop up the excess. So it's always about adding and taking away, and that's the thing that I learned with mixed media, is that it's all about adding and taking away, adding and taking away. All right, I'm going to pause. All right, here we go. That has got some yummy texture. And I've got a lot of paint over here to clean up. Now I'm putting down a little gesso, and I'm going to put a little bit of gesso on my finger, not much, and then I'm just going to go across this and pick up some of those raised areas, not all. Now the inks will bleed into the gesso, so it won't stay white, which you probably wouldn't want on a piece like this. But I'm just going to go over and give that some highlight. And then there's one other thing that I want to try that I've not tried before with this technique. But just look at how yummy that looks with the raised areas. Oh my goodness, I'm loving that. Now let me show you on this other side. So here's the other page. I'm gonna have to glue that page down. The heat has loosened the glue. But look what it did to the lace, and it gave me some texture around the edges, which I love. And then I just need to glue down that. All right, so there is that all done. Let me see if I can wipe off my hands a little bit. Now, what would have been better, what I probably should have done, and if you're thinking about trying something like this, get a sheet of, I don't know, like watercolor paper or something else, cardstock, something, and work on that and then glue that in, and you won't make such a mess in your journal. Because I have, now this page is really messy, but I can cover it. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I bought some gold leaf or gold foil. And I'm wondering, nope, I probably have to have something down there to make it stick. I didn't know if it would just stick on its own, but oh, I should have used airbrush medium instead of. All right, I'm going to use some matte medium on it. And while it's still wet, we'll try the little gold leafing. Let me find a brush here. Now, oh, now that's cool. All right, let me put down bits of this. Let me put down this matte medium. And then I'm going to put some gold leafing on this, and then we'll do the focal. So this image is, or this video is a little bit longer, but we're doing some extra stuff here. Now I obviously didn't use that same brush that I had for my paint because it is soaked with paint. But you can see the little bits of blue coming through. You can see all the different colors in there, and it just, again, mixed media is all about the layers. And This comes on a little piece of paper, and maybe that's how I should pull it out of here so it... Okay. Let's just put that on there, and then on there, one more there. And then what I think you can do is just take your paintbrush and then just brush it away where you don't want it. And it'll leave behind. It'll leave behind some bright gold. Now, if I had let that matte medium dry and then put down, you know, some more glue that I could put this on with, it would have not picked up any of the color into the gold, because matte medium is a sealer, but I didn't do that. See, isn't that cool? Look at how that... And then I'm going to go over it with a dry brush when I'm all done putting this down. Let me find a... There we go. There's a dry brush where I can kind of get in amongst the texture. And kind of brush it away from some of that texture, so the texture, or brush it away from the recesses, either way. Alright, so I've got just a little bit on here, and that's fine. I don't need to have a whole lot. I've got a splotch down here, you can see, and I've got some up here. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to dry this one more time, and I won't take some of that off. A dry brush will help you pull it away. I just want it to look a little more organic in there, not so straight. There we go. Let's dry that up a little bit. Alright, and then I'm going to go back over it with my dry paper towel and just sort of buff it up a little bit. There we go. So the gold shows, and I'm going to go back and put a little more of the white on the areas where I didn't put the gold, so we see the pattern. A little better. And then I'm going to pick a focal, and I haven't picked that yet. I don't know why, but I just didn't. I like that. Look at all that gold and the browns and the... I mean, you can see every color in there. I can see the blue, I can see the yellow ochre, I can see... Boy, this signature's getting loose. I may have to retie that. I can see all the colors. I can see all the gold. And what I want to do now is pick a focal. And let's see, what am I thinking? I want some sort of a card that kind of stands out. Let me pause for a second, and I'm going to grab a focal. Alright folks, I'm back. You know, I was just thinking I could probably zoom you guys in just a little bit more here so you could really see what I'm working on. So I found this focal and I want to go around the edges and rough it up just because of all the texture on this page. I did sew around it, so it's got some stitching, but I also want to edge it with black ink so it stands out really well from the background. I love this background, you guys. Now I thought about dripping some black so it caught in some of the areas as well for more contrast, and I certainly could do that. I'm not going to, but I could. So I'm just roughing this up with my scissors. Alright, then I'm going to get there we go. There's my black archival ink. Well, I've got some cleanup to do after this, don't I? Now I'm just going to go over all that roughed up paper and give it some color. And then these little pieces of my rubber stamp here. Alright. So I've got this to go on here. Well, I can see it's tearing. I'm going to have to fix that. I really should have done this on a separate... Ooh, I spilled my ink. Somebody told me they would cry over spilled ink. I am going to put a little bit of that black on there. I just want to have a little bit of black. Oh, I see what it's doing. I'll have to take that out and reinforce those seams. Alright, let's give that some, whoop, not on there. Oh, that gives it a lot deeper, and that gold really stands out now. So you can keep playing with this with different colors. I've got, you know, different colors on here if I want the black to be a little more here. And I probably should be using my mini mister, not getting quite so much water on there. But there we go, we've got some there. And I'm going to sop this all up. And I'm going to dry it one more time, and then I'll be back. Well, I can definitely say I'm not as proficient in mixed media as I used to be once upon a time. This probably could use some black splatters, but I'm going to let it be a real strong contrast to the background. So I've got browns, I've got some blue, and some different colors in there. And this is a very bumpy texture, so I'm going to have to really hold that down well. And that's the end of our second signature. since we're halfway through. And so this, my friends, is flow. We let that ink and everything just flow over that page. This page will get all covered up, so you won't see that mess once we do the next one, but look at that. I am going to go around the edges with the black. So this is kind of a darker page than what I usually do. I usually do very light stuff, but yeah, see, this is all splitting. So I will have to take this little signature apart, and what I'll do is put some washi tape on it, and or I've got another whole signature. I might just glue these pages. Well, I can't do that. Yeah, I can't. No, I can't do that. Anyway, I'll fix it. I'll fix it so that it's not. And lesson learned, if you're going to do some messy mixed media, pull the page or pull out a new page, get messy on that page, and then stick it in your journal. Because this is really messy, but that's okay. I'll get some washi tape and put over that. I'll take it out and then I'll sew it back in. So that is flow. What do you think, guys? It's got like the gold and all the different colors. I love it. I really, really, really love it. And I love the fact that this lace got all grungy. Got a little ink up here, a little bit down here. Yeah, it flowed at the bottom of a lot of these pages. But the first signature is fine. It didn't get affected. So it's just this signature. I need to take it out and repair it. And that may be my only mixed media adventure for this journal, unless I do it on a separate piece of paper, like I was saying. And I can't get this to go exactly straight, but there it is. Some butterflies on a grungy, flowy background. I'll definitely be doing this again, just not in a book. All right, I've got a huge mess to clean up. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please think about it. And if you're one of my new subscribers, holy cow, my subscriber count just keeps going up and up, which I really appreciate. So I appreciate you if you're a new subscriber, and if you've been around a while, thanks for coming back and supporting me. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.